And hey everybody, this is Geocacher TN Photobook from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Welcome to one of my historical geocaching shows on the road. Today I am on the road in Battle Creek, Michigan, also known as Kellogg Cereal Headquarters, but it's also what used to be the headquarters for the Seventh-day Adventist Church that was organized in the 1860s. I am a Seventh-day Adventist, and it's really neat to come here. There's a lot of historical sites, and it's just really neat to come here and actually visit the location of all this major history. Today we are in Oak Hill Cemetery, where there are a lot of major people, both Adventists and other major people buried here, such as Kellogg's, Post, and Sojourner Truth. That's where I am right now. Here is the grave of Sojourner Truth, a slave who was escaped from slavery via the Underground Railroad and became a champion of anti-slavery. It says here, in memoriam, Sojourner Truth, born a slave in Ulster County, New York in the 18th century, died in Battle Creek, Michigan, November 26, 1883, aged about 105 years. Anyway, here's a historical marker here. It says Sojourner Truth, renowned lecturer and reformer who championed anti-slavery, rights of women and the freedmen, rests here. Beside her lay 2 of her 5 children. And that's when they died there. Anyway, it's just really neat to come here. She's a neat lady. She was also, as I don't know if the marker said, but very renowned public speaker, gave the speech Ain't I a Woman. And also I thought it was interesting, I was reading up on her on Wikipedia. She actually became a Seventh-day Adventist, which I think is really, really neat. So yeah, some neat history here, and neat to visit the grave of a famous person. Let's see what other fun we can have here in Oak Hill Cemetery in Battle Creek, Michigan. And here we are, still in the Oak Hill Cemetery. Check out this marker here, I guess. Do you recognize that name? That's right, Kellogg. We are in Battle Creek. You may recognize the name Kellogg as far as cereal, Kellogg's cornflakes. It was John William Kellogg right here who made Kellogg name famous as far as breakfast cereal. His brother John Harvey was a Adventist, became a medical doctor, and headed the Seventh-day Adventist first hospital, medical institution, I guess you could say. It was very revolutionary for its day. I mean, like, everybody back then thought smoking was healthy and fresh fruits were fatal, and when you were sick you needed to close the doors, close the drapes, basically keep all the germs inside. But anyway, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg went around and in the Battle Creek Sanitarium, he had people doing fresh air, exercise, sunlight, fresh healthy foods, and it was actually when he was working on making some better breakfast foods for his patients that he and his brother stumbled upon the recipe for cornflakes. And while John Harvey Kellogg didn't have that much of an interest in trying to market these cornflakes to the general public beyond just his patients, his brother Will Keith did, and that is basically the rest. That's the rest of the story, and kind of how cornflakes came about. And there's the entrance to the Oak Hill Cemetery. Here we are at probably my favorite spot here, in the graves of James and Ellen White, and they were 2 of the main founders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They're buried here. I'll show you their graves in a second. Let me read you this marker. James and Ellen White. James S. and Ellen G. White were among the founders of the General Conference of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which was organized in Battle Creek in 1863, also known as 150 years ago this year. Long participants in the Adventist movement, they came to Battle Creek in 1855 when the Adventist Press was moved here. James served as minister, author, editor, and General Conference president. Ellen, a prophetess, experienced over 2,000 visions. Married in New England in 1846, both were involved in the founding of publishing, medical, and educational institutions. After James' death in 1881, Ellen traveled to organize Adventist churches in Europe, Australia, and the American South and West. She is widely known for her writings on health, education, family life, and the Bible, and is one of the most translated American authors. She died in 1915. Okay, folks, we are now here at the actual graves of James and Ellen White. Check it out. Very nice memorial to their family here. James White's grave, Ellen White's grave. Their eldest son, Henry White, who died when he was only 16. And their youngest son, John Herbert White, died very young at age 3 months. Here's the grave of Deacon John White, father of James White. His John White's wife, sorry for that. And then Clarissa Bonfoy, I forget exactly who she was, but I believe she was like a cook or helper to the Whites. Very good family friend. Anyway, it's kind of hard to explain it. It's just so amazing to actually be here. I don't know if you remember, if you've watched this video. If you haven't, definitely go back and do it. I shot them last Christmas time. I was able to visit Ellen White's last home, Elmshaven, in Northern California. And that was a lot of fun, so be sure to check that video. And now to actually come here to the cemetery in Michigan where she's buried. You know, I've grown up on these stories. I love these Adventist pioneer stories. It is just so neat to actually come here to Battle Creek and see these locations for myself and film them and share them with you guys. You know, it's amazing, the dedication, the zeal, the wholehearted devotion these Adventist pioneers had to God and to do what He wanted them to do. And a lot of them were, Ellen White was 17 when God called her. James White was early 20s. You know, same for John Loughborough. A lot of the Adventist pioneers were in their teens and 20s when God called them, and it's just amazing. You know, God came into their lives, and God, through them, did amazing things in this world. A lot of good things. And it's just like, you know, I think about this, it's like, wow, what if the youth and young adults, and I'll expand this to adults as well, if we were as dedicated to God as were these Adventist pioneers, what could God do through us today? How could God change our world today? And I don't know who you are, but I want to challenge you. Get to know God, start developing a relationship with Him, and honestly ask yourself, not ask yourself, but ask God, what does He want you to do, and do it. Because when you do that, it will change your life, and through you, God will bless others and turn the world upside down, just like He did through the Adventist pioneers. So anyway, it's really neat opportunity to come here, and I hope you've enjoyed this little video of Oak Hill Cemetery. And neat to visit the graves of these famous people. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/tnphotobug. And until next time, this is Geocacher TN Photobug signing out. I'm having a blast with the past.